Welcome to Buzz Around the Globe. Hundreds of foreign passport holders and wounded trapped in Gaza started leaving the war-torn territory on Wednesday as the Rafah crossing to Egypt opened for the first time since the October 7th Hamas attacks, AFP correspondents reported. Convoys of desperately needed aid have passed between Egypt and Gaza, but no people have been allowed through the Rafah crossing. Queues formed early Wednesday at the terminal, and some 545 foreigners and dual nationals along with about 90 sick and wounded were expected to leave. After being allowed into the terminal area, huge queues formed around crossing booths for checks on passports and other documents. Ambulances waited on the Egyptian side to take away the wounded and sick. The border authority in the Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip said that Egypt had agreed to let in 81 of the most badly wounded on Wednesday through Rafah, the only crossing not controlled by Israel. The zone around the terminal has been hit during Israeli air raids on Gaza after the Hamas attacks, which Israeli authorities say left 1,400 dead, mostly civilians. Another 240 people were taken hostage. Some of those being taken out for treatment in Egyptian hospitals are among more than 15,000 wounded in retaliatory Israeli strikes, which the Hamas-run health ministry says have killed more than 8,500 people, two-thirds of them women and children. Reports say a field hospital with an area of 1,300 square meters would be built to receive the wounded Palestinians in the city of Sheikh Zuweid in northern Sinai, about 15 kilometers from Rafah. The United States voiced hope that hundreds of Palestinian Americans stuck in Gaza would be able to leave through Rafah. US officials had earlier reported a deal with Egypt on the crossing and accused Hamas of not letting people through. US said that Secretary of State Antony Blinken raised the Rafah issue in telephone talks with leaders of Qatar, where Hamas has an office. Foreign governments say that people from 44 countries and 28 agencies, including UN bodies, are living in the Gaza Strip, where 2.4 million people have been living through bombardment without water or electricity, and with little food after Israel tightened its 16-year blockade further in response to the Hamas attacks. Israeli National Security Council chief told reporters that there was still a dispute on aid deliveries, with Egypt seeking to let more trucks into Gaza, but Israel saying it was limited to searching dozens of vehicles per day. The United States, which has backed Israel but pressed for greater humanitarian considerations, has voiced hope that 100 trucks per day could go through Rafah. The decision to open the crossing came hours after an Israeli strike on the largest refugee camp in Gaza, where the health ministry has said at least 50 people were killed. Egypt on Tuesday condemned the strike on Jabalia camp in the strongest terms, warning against the consequences of the continuation of these indiscriminate attacks that target defenseless civilians in a foreign ministry statement.